Hello YouTube, Ruth Basque here again with another video for Divination Tuesday. So today I thought we would just talk about divination, and I know I've covered some of them, but I thought tonight we would talk about dream interpretation and dividing the future from your dreams. Now, all of us know that certain dreams have certain meanings, and some of us have the symbolism in our dreams to mean something different. There are a lot of books out there that can tell you how to interpret your dreams, on dream interpretation. I don't have any of those books, otherwise I would be gladly going through it to give you some idea of what some of the interpretations for certain symbolism is. But we're just going to go through some of the things I can remember, and I'm not very good at this because normally I don't work with the dream divination side of the craft. One of the things that should be known right off the bat is if you're going to do dream interpretation and interpreting your dreams as a way of divination, is always to make sure that you keep a dream journal by your bed, a pen, and when you wake up, that should be the first thing you do when you wake up, is write down what you remember of your dream, and then go look up the symbolism for them later on, or go by what you think. There are symbols that for some people seem to mean evil, and there are symbols for some people that are positive. With the owls, for instance, to the Native Americans, owls are an evil sign, a bad omen sign, but to a lot of people in the craft, the owl is a sign of wisdom and of being able to see and to communicate with the dead. For some people who see bats again, for a lot of people, will bring about the feeling of darkness and evil and fear, but yet bats again are a symbol of protection in some cultures and of working with the dead and communicating with your dead ancestors. When you dream of colors like black, a lot of people say, oh wow, it was a black creature, or it was real dark, or the figure was all dressed in black. Some people see black as negative. And then some people know that the color black is to repel negativity, is the color of the crone goddess. So things that would appear black could be a symbol that the crone goddess is actually trying to communicate with you. Red has always been the color of the mother goddess, such as Kali Ma there, who is a mother goddess. And a lot of her things that would be associated with Kali's, people would see as negative, but they won't necessarily be negative. White is a symbol and color of the maiden mother, or the maiden, and so animals associated with the maiden would be like swans and doves, and so like when you look at swans and you look at dove, you think of peace and love, but there are some cultures who may actually see those symbols as not peace and love. There may even be people who, when they see a swan, think of the mute swan who can't make any noise, so of being tied and unable to talk and unable to speak. So if they were dreaming that they were like in a dream and they couldn't speak, and they were seeing a swan, then they couldn't speak, that they were unable to speak, this could be a sign that the person is having a hard time interpreting their feelings, or speaking their mind, or voicing what they want to tell people correctly, so they stay quiet. So there are things like that. And when I see owls, I do think of wisdom, and I think of the crone goddess, and I think of Santissima Morte, who the owl is a symbol of her. I think of being able to communicate with my ancestors. And the raven, another bird that some people see as negative, is actually a bird who is able to help you send your messages to the other world to communicate with your ancestors who have passed away. And the raven will bring messages back to you. So for me, the raven is also another bird that if you want to communicate with the dead, would be a good bird to think about working with. And in dreams, this would mean that you need to communicate with someone who is dead, or maybe someone who has passed away is trying to communicate to you. That would be my interpretation of that dream. So when you're doing dream interpretation, and you keep your journal, and you write down the colors you see, the animals you see, the symbols you see. You know, also take into consideration, how were you feeling? Were you feeling helpless? Were you feeling afraid? Were you running from it, or were you running to it? Write all this down, and then think about what you were feeling out of it, and then use that as your interpretation. So don't go strictly to books. Books can help you on your way. There is a book, I don't know who wrote it. It's called The Encyclopedia of 101 Dream Interpretations. I used to have that book, but I lost it a long, long time ago. I plan on re-getting it again. Would be a good book to think about using if you want something that tells you what each thing means, but also keep in mind there are things that don't fit in those books to what I would see. You know, like the frog, who represents water and fertility. And when I think of the frog, I think of fertility, and I think of the water, and I think of, you know, calmness. And frogs are very vocal and very loud around the mating season, so there would be an animal who is telling you, you need to speak up. You need to voice what you want. So, you know, also in your dreams, there are times in your dreams when actually your spirit guide or a spirit animal will come to you in those dreams. So pay especially close attention to the animals that appear in your dreams, and to a spirit being that may appear to you in your dreams, because they may actually be your spirit guide or your spirit animal. So that is all I have to say tonight on Divination Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed this little chat on dream interpretation and divination. If you like this video, link it, share it, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I'm up doing more videos. And tomorrow is Wednesday, so we will be doing Witchy Wednesday. And remember to always be yourself, unless you can be a dragon, then always be a dragon. Blessed be y'all.